And now I want to welcome our guests. Ed Taglieri is the administrator of the Worcester Beaumont and works for Salmon Health.
Yes, I do. I've been with Salmon for about 8 years. Salmon is a family-owned company, been around for 60 years. They're in their third generation. And we take care of seniors. Our goal is to be the senior provider of health care for the seniors in Central Mass. We have levels of services. We start with independent living with the Willows. We go to assisted living with Whitney Place, and then skilled nursing with Beaumont. And we sort of piece that together with visiting nurses. So Salmon DNA and hospice, and we have adult day health and child care also.
And Ed, Salmon Health, a big footprint in Central Mass and Southern Worcester County. So the Willows in Worcester. And
we have the Willows in Worcester. We have the Willows in Westboro. And we're actually getting ready to build 2 new in a little bit south of that area.
Right.
So.
And then Northbridge.
Yeah, we have, so the Northbridge campus has the Beaumont, it has Whitney Place, and it has the Child Care Center. We have a Natick Center, which offers the pieces of the continuum would be Beaumont. We have Whitney Place, we have the adult day health and child care there. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And we were talking in the last segment about the career fair, and we'll talk about why Salmon Health is in that. But I also want to welcome Brian Hanna, who's the Assistant Director of Career Services at Clark University, and a graduate.
I am, that's right, class of 2010.
Yeah, and Brian, you've heard some of the conversation that we just had with Karen Pelletier and Matt Doucette from Monster. You work with students on how to get them prepared and ready, and the career fair that's coming up. I mean, how do you work with students every day to get them workplace ready or go out and do that search so that they can then go, if they've got an interest in health, be prepared to make a good impression on Ed and the Salmon Health team?
Sure, especially when it comes to career fairs, we work a lot with students to really make a good first impression and really have a game plan and a strategy set up. So when it comes to an event like the Chamber, and our students are pretty well versed at this point coming off our own career fair earlier this month, but we tell them, the basics are, dress professionally, have multiple copies of your resume, work on your handshake, eye contact, all of that. But more importantly, I find is to do research on the companies that will be in attendance at the fair. One of the weaknesses that we often hear from employers is that, a student didn't do enough research, they didn't know what we did, or they don't know what we do. So it's important for students to really, go online at the Chamber website, look and see who is going to be there, see if there's anyone that they're interested in talking about, research them, have an idea of their positions, their internship program, or if they're looking for full-time work, see what positions are available. And then also have a game plan. Who do you want to see first? Prioritize a bit. Sometimes employers get lines and you'll be waiting there for a while, so who else can you talk to at the time? And it's always helpful to go and get business cards, connect, follow up with people, send thank you notes. So we work a lot with students on all those components of going to a career fair.
Follow through communication, teamwork skills that are important to a workplace culture.
Absolutely.
Right. Ed, you found Salmon Health, been just as a great company. It's grown, employs lots of people. You mentioned kind of filling that niche and creating a product, a continuum as people get older, how they can kind of take care of themselves in a dignified, with great care. It takes people to do that.
Yeah. And
a significant employer in the region. So as the administrator at Beaumont, how important is the employee and getting people and training them?
Yeah, it's very important, Tim. We employ about 1,700 people here in Central Mass, and what we're looking for are people that care about what they do. So we're going to be looking for people that have basic skills, and we can start at all different levels. But what we're really looking for is somebody that has compassion and cares with their heart. Because if a person does that, I can teach them the skills that they need to do the job, but I can't teach them the compassion, and that's so important in providing a service industry for the independent folks, as well as the elders that need more of the medical care. We're going to need more of the skilled services in that situation, which would be CNAs and nurses and physical therapists, occupational therapists. But we also have plenty of jobs to start the career with housekeeping, laundry, dietary, and then we can once they're in and we see they're a part of us, we have no problem training them and putting them into the programs that are necessary.
Well, it was interesting, you know, Matt, who's a recruiter for Monster, you know, and talking about empathy, obviously in the healthcare world, you're going to need that. And, you know, for Salmon Health, you mentioned Third Family. What I think is just kind of somewhat unique about what they do is this career ladder and helping, encouraging people. And that's why so many people who work in the Salmon Health system stay there for long periods of time. Yeah,
they do. And the career ladder is really a very unique thing that we offer. And we can have somebody come in at a basic level. And if they show an interest, we can actually do the CNA training in-house. And they can become a CNA, and then we have 3 steps for them to do an advanced level CNA. And then when they're ready, they can show an interest and become a nurse. And if they qualify, we will absolutely fund them through that program.
Tuition assistance.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
We got a minute left. Brian, you know, Clark University, growing presence, you're a Clark grad yourself. I mean, as you see kind of Worcester in the region, you know, are students' perceptions changing at the region? This is a place maybe they want to stay afterwards. Is that happening more, or is that still a challenge we got to tackle?
I think it's happening slowly but surely. I know there are students when they come to visit Clark, especially being in the Maine South neighborhood. A lot of students are coming from outside of Massachusetts and Worcester, and it's their first real city experience. And sometimes they're a little apprehensive about maybe coming to Clark, but when you see the work that Clark students and Clark faculty and staff have been doing in the community, what Worcester has been doing to build themselves up, to really make it a wonderful place to live, and there are so many things to do. I mean, students are slowly but surely seeing that Worcester is a great place to be. It's a great college town. I mean, there's 11, 12 universities within the area, so it kind of has that great summer, that college feel, you know, throughout the semester and throughout the year. And you know, being in Worcester, you're not too far away from Boston, you're not too far from Providence. You know, you can get away to the bigger cities if you want.
Yeah, down in New York, 3 hours, right?
Absolutely. So there's, and I think students are really starting to see that there are many things to do within the city, and Clark students are always kind of venturing out and seeing what there's.
You're seeing these gathering places, whether it be you know, the Shrewsbury Street's part of that, you know, another Canal District, but more of those places where they can come socially too.